What's up, everybody? This is Mario, and I'm back with another episode of Endurify. And today I want to start with a quote from my book called Coach. And this book is called Coach, and it's written by Matthew Kelly, who is one of my favorite Christian authors. And if you have been listening to this podcast for a while, or if you go all the way back to some of the earlier podcast episodes around amazing possibilities, then you'll hear about who Matthew Kelly is and kind of how he was a big inspiration for me starting this podcast. Because when I attended that virtual event, it was actually a present that I got for my parents for my dad's birthday. And so we originally were going to attend this event in person, but obviously because of COVID, it was a virtual event, and it was all about writing out your dreams for your life and being open to the amazing possibilities that God has in store for us. And after that event, or actually by signing up for that event, I got one of Matthew Kelly's books, and then I also bought this Coach book by Matthew Kelly for my dad, who is a high school football coach and kind of a big inspiration for me. And I bought a copy for myself. And what this book is it's kind of like almost like a daily quote for coaches, for leaders, and for anybody who's interested in kind of the human journey. And I have used some of these quotes to just kind of give me a little boost of motivation or a little boost of inspiration each day. And to be honest, I hadn't looked at it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And then I opened it up and I started flipping through kind of each day. And this most recent quote was perfectly kind of summing up some of my recent thoughts and some of my recent breakthroughs and clarity on who am I and who do I want to serve and what do I want to, kind of this question of what do I want to be when I grow up. And so I want to start with that quote. So I realized that life had much more to offer than I had anticipated and decided to help others in their human journey. Thus, I became a trainer and a coach with a passion for transformation. And so the reason why this has been resonating so much for me is because with this podcast, with Endurify, the ultimate goal is to use this content and to use this podcast to help people become the best versions of themselves through endurance events like triathlons and marathons and ultra marathons and everything that the world of endurance sports has to offer. But this whole time I've kind of been thinking about myself as, am I a triathlon coach, or am I a life coach, or am I somewhat of a mix of the two? And so I've just been thinking about that question a lot. And really, I'm ultimately landing on I am a transformation coach. And the way that I believe that I can help people transform their lives and become the best version of themselves is by competing in and completing an endurance event. Because some of the things that I believe is, it's not about the race, it's all about the person you become along the way. And, it's all about that journey of transformation. But I also believe that journey of transformation doesn't actually occur unless you really try and achieve something. So it's not necessarily about the achievement of completing an Ironman. It's about the person you become along the way in completing and achieving that goal. And so that is just something that I've been thinking about, and it's something that is really kind of resonating with me with this idea of I have a passion for transformation and helping others become the best version of themselves. And I recently included this quote in a short little story in my recent Endurify newsletter. And that's where I wanted to go next, because if you're somebody who's been listening to the podcast, but you're having trouble kind of keeping up with all of the different podcast episodes that I'm putting out every single day, or you're curious, what is the best podcast episode to listen to if you're only going to choose one in a given week? That's actually why I created the Endurify newsletter, which is basically my weekly roundup. And right now I only send it on Sunday nights, and I send it out to people who have subscribed to the newsletter. And I basically just share a little quote, I tell a little story, and then I tie it back to a specific podcast episode or sometimes I mix it up and I include links to all of the different podcast episodes. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to join the kind of Endurify newsletter or the roundup, I don't have an official name for it yet, just reach out to me at mario@endurify.co and I'll get you added to the list. And that way you don't miss out on any of the podcast episodes, or you can get access to the most relevant one for that week. And again, you get access to a lot of these kind of timely quotes and short stories that I'm sharing. So that's kind of what I have for today, is just kind of sharing that quote and what that means to me. And really where I want to bring it back to you is I want to ask, like, do you have a quote that is really kind of summing up who you are as a person? Do you have a quote or a mantra or something that really gets you excited and sums up who you are? And if so, I want to know what that quote is. I want you to share it with me. So reach out to me, mario@endurify.co. Share that with me, because I believe that when you have a quote like that really inspires you, it gives you power, it's something that's going to give you the momentum and the motivation to pursue whatever it is that you have going on in your life. If that's an endurance event, if that's starting a new business, if it's starting a podcast, or if it's getting through kind of a challenging project that you have at work. So I want to hear, what is that quote for you? Reach out to me and let me know if you want to join that newsletter or that roundup, and I would love to get you added. So that's what I have for today. I hope that serves you, and I hope you all have an amazing day.